What's up, guys? This is the reviewer here, and today we are talking about the Lego Movie 2. This is the second part to the first Lego movie that came out in 2014. So, in this one, it is 5 years later, and everyone is living in Apocalypseburg. It is what Bricksburg has become because all of the sisters' toys have kind of terrorized Bricksburg, and they're all living in apocalypse. But Emmett has been able to stay positive through the whole thing. And that's our premise for the movie. So, how this starts is Emmett is walking around Apocalypseburg, but he has been able to stay relatively happy. He even builds a house for him and Wildstyle, and at the beginning of the movie, Wildstyle is like, Emmett, you gotta grow up. You need to change. Everyone else has changed with the times. You should be too. And then all of Emmett's friends from the last movie get captured. Wildstyle, Metalbeard, Benny, and Unikitty. And in this movie, we didn't see Vitruvius or President Business at all, which I think made the movie lose a little bit. I really liked the movie, but I think the movie lost a little bit with the loss of these characters because they were just really important in the first one, so it felt like other characters had to pull some more weight. I think it worked, but it felt a little bit smaller just because those are like two major characters that weren't really in it. Also, like the good cop bad cop character wasn't in it. Or he made like an appearance in Apocalypseburg, but that was pretty much it. And we don't really see them for the whole movie. And so Emmett's friends all get captured, and so obviously Emmett he's a master builder now, so he takes his house and he goes to save them. And he gets into like a meteor shower. It kind of felt like Star Wars, like when Han Solo would get into a meteor shower, but obviously Emmett is not Han Solo, so he almost dies, but this guy Rex saves him, and he's voiced by Chris Pratt also. And so they make the whole joke, Rex, Dinosaur Hunter, Guardian, like pretty much referencing all those other movies, which I thought was like pretty funny meta stuff. It wasn't hidden at all, but it was still funny to see. And then so Emmett travels with Rex and his raptors the whole time, and we think that Rex is a good guy, but obviously that's not as it seems. While all this is happening, we meet Queen Whatever I Wanna Be, and she can shapeshift and stuff, and so she's giving people everything they would have ever wanted, and everyone kind of falls for it except for Wildstyle. And she sings this song where it's like, "Oh, I'm totally not suspicious," and from a movie watching standpoint, we think, okay, we've seen this 1,000 times. Like, obviously, she is suspicious. It's just like with a kids movie, we let our guards down, and I actually really liked the way that she wasn't actually evil. She was just honestly giving everyone what they would have ever wanted. And it seemed like she was so obviously evil, and for Rex to end up being the evil one was, I thought, a really good twist. And so while all this goes on, they had a lot more live action stuff than they did in the last movie. In the last movie, the live action stuff really only came to play at the end when everything was coming to a close, and then it ended with Finn and his dad playing. Will Ferrell doesn't actually ever show up in the movie, except he'll kind of like, he'll call down sometimes, like, "Oh, listen to your mother." But we never see him. And so the kids are 5 years older too, and basically they had a little side story there where the daughter actually just wants to play with the son, and the mom puts the toys away, which is kind of how we come into our climax. Like, they kind of mix together in a way that I didn't really think worked very well. Just, you can't really mix the live action story with the fake story because it's just, they just don't they don't really fit together. Like they did all right, they did the best they could, but it didn't quite fit together. And so, but the mom puts away all the toys, and so the toys, all the Legos are just sitting there, and it's like, is this really the end? And then they put like a little like the end thing on the screen, and I honestly, I was kind of gullible, but I honestly thought this was how they were gonna end the movie, and I thought it was kind of like Empire Strikes Back, like there was a whole cliffhanger for the next movie, and it ended up obviously that they all came together, and in a pretty touching moment, they all came together to save themselves, like to say everything won't be like everything's not actually awesome, but you have to try your best, which was a much better message for kids than just everything is awesome. But it served its purpose, and it did really well. And so while this is all going on, Emmett is kind of trapped under the land of Dryar, which is just drier. And so he's trapped there, and Rex tries to keep him there because Rex, we find out, is actually Emmett from the future. He was apparently left there, and no one ever came for him when he was Emmett, and so he turned into Rex, and he traveled back in time to make sure Emmett went the same path. So, but then once everyone gets out, all of Emmett's friends get out, they all go to save him. And it was a pretty touching moment. But that means that so Rex never actually exists. And during all this time, Rex had been convincing Emmett to take down everything, and we thought that Rex was right. Like Emmett actually kind of causes Armageddon, which he had been afraid of the whole movie, because he destroys everything, and that's kind of what Finn did. Finn, like in real life, the brother was destroying all the sister's toys. And so, I mean, in that aspect it worked. And then, so at the end, everyone lives happily ever after. The two kids play together, and Lucy actually builds Emmett the house that Emmett had always wanted, and she learns that it's okay to be positive all the time. I thought overall, this movie was really good. The live action stuff sometimes got a little bit wonky because Finn is technically supposed to be Emmett, but Emmett's doing all this crazy stuff, and does that mean Finn's actually doing all this crazy stuff in real life? And how can Emmett have his own feelings? And like he got captured under the dryer, so how could Finn be captured under the dryer? So usually, like, it was mostly just to create a touching moment between at the end when the kids ended up using Legos to play together, which I think was also kind of like a commercial. But overall, it was pretty good, but some of it got a little bit wonky. The music in this was really good. They had another catchy song. I didn't actually think it was as catchy. This song will get stuck in your head. But it was in the movie, but I thought some of the other songs were more catchy. But the movie, or the music overall, the score was really good. And this movie was really fast paced, which I think it worked. It kept you engaged. Like, the movie went by pretty quickly. I couldn't believe it was like an hour and a half. I enjoyed it the whole time. I even cried a little bit. And I thought it was better as it went along. That conclusion was really powerful and told a really good story. I don't know that they'll make a third one. I think they might make some other spin-offs, like Lego Batman 2, so we could see some of those characters again and all that. But I don't know that we'll see a Lego Movie 3, because there's not much for them to go from here except to see Emmett and Lucy living their lives together. So, but that wouldn't be a very interesting thing. So maybe they'd even do like a Metalbeard spin-off. The side characters didn't feel as good in this movie, and obviously some of them were pulling their weight. But I don't know, Benny got probably 5 minutes of screen time, when I feel like he had a much bigger role in the first movie. Overall, I'm gonna give the Lego Movie 2 a B+. I would say Not as good as the first one, but still a great movie. I'm really glad I saw it. I would definitely recommend going to see it. It's really entertaining. It's really fun, especially if you are a kid or you have kids. I think they'll really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been The Reviewer. If you liked this, please consider liking and subscribing and coming back tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be ranking all 4 of the feature films that have come out so far. Give my up-to-date ranking on that. And keep watching movies.